Behind every door, around every corner, down every staircase, you just might find a hidden treasure.
Put a little green into your life. Discover some of Montgomery County's most beautiful places.
I'm Jeremy Chris, and I'm the Agricultural Services Manager with the county. I work with the agricultural community and I help farmers make business decisions. We have a number of programs and services that we offer here at the Agricultural History Farm Park, and we have a number of agricultural agencies that provide technical assistance and helping the farmers be profitable and to make business decisions on a daily basis. In the 70s, the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission evaluated the loss of farmland each year. We were losing anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 acres of farm ground through residential development in the 70s. That was the sounding alarm that created the citizen group that started to look at the Wedges and Corridors Plan and develop the Functional Master Plan for the Preservation of Agriculture and Rural Open Space, which was adopted in October of 1980. That is the Agricultural Reserve. It was first created as a master plan, and then in January 6, 1981, the County Council, as the legislative branch of government, adopted what's called the Rural Density Transfer Zone. So the zone is the legislative mechanism for creating the Ag Reserve that's in the master plan. Everyone that's in that zone is in the Ag Reserve. This is a beautiful facility. It was dedicated in 1988. It's a model facility in that we have all of the agricultural agencies co-located in one place. It's a one-stop shop for the ag community to come, as well as other residents, and to have the various programs and services and all of the application requirements. Everything can be done right here at one time. And it helps to have all the agencies located together so that we have a better cohesion and cooperation and coordination. You know, we have located here at the Ag History Farm Park the Friends of the Ag History Farm Park. It's a private nonprofit organization, and some of the members have collected antique farm equipment, and they have it stored in a building over on the back end of the property, and they bring them out, the equipment out periodically during the year with different events that are scheduled here. There's a gas and steam show usually in April. They have a number of shows that they sponsor, and they bring the equipment out to show that off, and it's really neat to see how the equipment was designed and built, and it's restored, and many of them are 100 years old or just less than 100 years old, some of them.
I went to college, got my doctorate degree in animal nutrition, so I've always been close to the farm, and I grew up on a beef and poultry farm in Arkansas. To me, it's real life. Primarily, we produce beef and hay on our farm, but we also have fancy chickens, about 40 different breeds, and we have lambs, sheep and lamb, and we shear and do wool and that sort of thing. So we have some honeybees, so we have a variety of things here on the farm, but we like to garden. But primarily we do beef and hay. This group here I'm going to ship to Arkansas, actually, to put on the farm in Arkansas. And I've got another 100 head over the hill in a different group. You always have to shut the gate if you don't want the cows to get out and eat the corn, eat the sweet corn. And this barn was probably nearly 200 years old, so it's been around a while. But here's the hay mow. This barn was built for loose hay originally, with the forks are hanging there on the side, but now we use it for square bales. And so we have probably 6,000 bales of hay in this barn. These are white-laced red Cornish birds. They are one of the parent grand stock of the modern broiler. These guys here are the buff Polish birds. They have feathers all over their head, and you can't see their eyes, but they do have eyes, and they're really pretty birds. These guys up here at the top are millefleurs, which is a French word for many colors. They've got beards and tufts on their face. These guys are called barred cochins. And they're the barred, like a barred rock pattern, but they have feathers on their feet, and the cochin breeds are just covered with feathers, and their tails drop off instead of sticking up in the air. The cochins are very docile. They're a fun breed to have. These are some very nice white leghorn chickens. They're prize-winning birds. They're bred for producing eggs primarily. They lay a nice big white egg, and they lay an egg every day. So it takes me about an hour or two every day to take care of these chickens. So it's a lot of work all year long. I have some friends that have roosters, so we got to get these ladies to go visit the roosters sometime soon. I enjoy hearing them crow. Most people don't, but I think that it's really something nice to wake up to. Hey, Victoria, how are you? Huh? What are you doing up there, Victoria? Huh? Now, this is our little family garden plot. We have cucumbers, squash, eggplant, tomatoes, green beans, lima beans, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, green peas. Then we have over there some rhubarb, asparagus, all the good things of life. The Montgomery County Farm Bureau tries to serve the needs of the farm families in Montgomery County. A lot of what we do is political. We try to interface with our county council members, the state senators and delegates in Annapolis, and also on Capitol Hill. So we're sort of legislative watchdogs, if you would, and we propose legislation that is favorable to our farmers' needs. Economically, without agriculture, the state would suffer dramatically. The insurance industry, the building industry, the petroleum industry, we use a lot of fuel oil to produce crops, diesel fuel in particular, biodiesel in some cases. But if you took agriculture out of the economic equation, the economy would probably collapse. A lot of people don't understand anything about agriculture anymore. So part of what our role is to educate the public. It should not be our role to educate the public, but we find ourselves in a default position where so few of us are engaged in agriculture, maybe 1% to 2% of the population, and the other 98% know nothing about what we do or why we do it. Actually, we're producing food, and that's our primary purpose. We get a lot of visitors here. We have people that come fish in the pond. We have people that stop and watch a calf being born or watch the baby lambs, out by the road and various things. But, we don't have the time to entertain the public because we're busy farming. Bye-bye. That was Eric Spates, and he's another farmer in Poolesville, Farm Bureau business. So we have a meeting tomorrow night that we got to worry about tree trimming for the county. We try to get the county to trim some trees so we can get our combines and machinery down the highway. Rustic roads.
I've had a lot of people come on tours. If Montgomery County has had tours where they've had people come in from out of state or out of the country, they'll come tour our facility and we'll show them around, show them what best management practices we have, what conservation practices we use, and we do have tours on the farm, so yes, we do that. my farm, Rolling Acres Farm, we're more in for the people who have been riding for many years and now they're interested in buying their first horse and they want to compete on a higher level. So there are many, many places in Montgomery County where you can go, call up, get your first lesson for children and for adults. It's not just for children. Adults can also ride horses. So horses are very versatile, and there are many different things that you can do too. It's not just English riding, there's Western riding, there's jousting, which is the state sport, so there's jousting in Montgomery County, there's polo in Montgomery County, there's dressage in Montgomery County, there's a lot of trail rides. The trails that are used by the people in Montgomery County are used quite often by the horses. And you have a lot of equipment, competitions. We have quite a few competitions. Matter of fact, for Maryland, more people come to see equestrian events than they do other sports. So we are very vital to Montgomery County and to Maryland as far as an economic driver in the county. Capital Challenge is held down at the PG Equestrian Center, and we have quite a few horses that go down there. And also my sister is Mary Lisa Leffler. She rides Girona 92, and she has represented the United States in international competitions. So she has shown in Norway and Sweden and Denmark, and she is a Grand Prix rider, which is the highest level. So she represents Montgomery County in the United States and the world. The one thing that most people don't think about is horses are ag. They support so much of the ag industry. We take care of about 13,000 horses in Montgomery County alone. We are second in the county, only to Baltimore County in the state of Maryland, of having the most number of horses. So we are very vital to the economic drive of Montgomery County. We have so many jobs that are attached to this. Not only just the people who work with the horses, but the industry that supports us. So for farming, we support all the farmers because they make the hay, they make the straw, they make the grain. All of the things that we need for our horses come right out of this county. It's mostly locally grown. But not only that, also other industries. The insurance industry. We have to insure our horses. We have to insure our equipment. There are vendors that we work with. They're tack shops. So we support another industry, the tack industry. We supply jobs for them. There are vets that we work with, x-rays that get taken of the horses. So there are things that a lot of people don't think about that really are supported by the horses in Montgomery County.
Well, we have a number of activities that are carried out here at the Ag History Farm Park. Probably the biggest is called the Fall Festival. It's a tremendous activity. Thousands of people attend each year, and of course it occurs in the fall. We also offer a number of agricultural education initiatives, such as the Close Encounters with Agriculture program, where we bring 4th grade students here in the fall, and it's a very comprehensive training program to teach children where their food comes from.
At the Ag History Park in Durwood, we have a program in the fall of the year called Close Encounters. And we educate, I believe it's 4th grade children, several hundred a year that come in, and so they have direct contact, close encounters with different things that we bring. They'll collect critters out of the stream, for example, tadpoles or other crawdads or whatever, and they'll display those. Life that's aquaculture life out of the stream. They actually come here to my stream and collect it and take it down there. So it's a good experience for the children to have close contact.
In Montgomery County, we have Close Encounters with Agriculture, and I bring a miniature horse and a miniature donkey named Skittles every year, and I teach the kids that come, the 4th graders that come, all about horses.
We now have what's called the 21st Annual Farm Tour and Harvest Sale. It comes up on the 4th weekend in July, and it's an open, self-guided tour where people can pick and choose between the 14 farms that are on the tour. There's a narrative in the brochure that explains the activities that each of the farms offer. There's contact information so that you can make sure you know what the schedule is for the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. So that's one of the best opportunities for the residents that live down county to have an appreciation for the Ag Reserve and to develop better relationships with the farmers in the Ag Reserve. Montgomery County has more farmers markets than any other county in the state. We currently have 14 that are operational. There's several that are pending. It's a good business model for those folks that don't have what's called an on-farm market.
Butler's Orchard is a long-time farm here in Montgomery County. Started in 1950 by my parents, and we're continuing today with about 300 acres, celebrating our 60th anniversary and a third generation on the farm. My dad started in the 50s with a small peach orchard, and when he did get a peach crop, about every 3 out of 5 years, he would sell it to the grocery store, and they would determine the price that he received. And this did not go over well to a farmer who had worked hard to produce a beautiful crop and someone else saying, this is how much we're going to pay you. How he got this bizarre idea to let people into his orchard, I do not know. But he allowed the public to come in and pick their own peaches. It was a novelty, it was a new thing in the area, and I think we're one of the first pick-your-own farms in Maryland. And it kind of rolled into strawberries as well. The story goes that my mom couldn't pick the berries fast enough to keep them in front of the farm market, so we let the public go to the fields. Butler's Orchard niche would really be fresh fruit. We do a lot of berries, 18 acres of pick-your-own strawberries, 13 acres of pick-your-own blueberries, 8 acres of peas. We kind of go through the seasons, tart cherries, blackberries and raspberries. We do apples, of course, big pumpkin season in the fall of the year. We finish up with cut your own Christmas trees. And really the first thing that we start out with is a crop of eggs in the spring for an egg hunt. So a lot of produce for picking yourself and a farm market as well. Butler's Orchard has our own roadside market. So we have a farm market right there on the farm where we sell our own produce as well as some produce from other growers. But no longer do we take our product to the grocery store or wholesale it out anywhere. Everything that we grow, we sell right at our own farm. So at Butler's Orchard, along with our pick-your-own crops, we're into agritourism. So we have a lot of festivals and events. We start out in the springtime with a hayride in Bunnyland, where you can hunt for eggs and take a hayride down the bunny trail. Then through the summer, you can bring your group or summer school or camp out for a group outing. We do birthday parties. All of these are combined with like a hayride and some berry picking and use of our picnic area. In the fall of the year, we do pumpkin harvest days where school children come out to the farm, some educational value there and some pumpkin picking, and they get to check out the big slides as well. And then even at Christmas time, cutting your own tree is a nice event. We also offer hay rides and bonfires for groups, church groups and neighborhoods and birthday parties, all do that kind of thing. So a lot of agro-tourism events to come out to the farm and experience that fun.
There are a lot of residents in the county that are not aware of the Agricultural Reserve, and I try to promote it through a variety of means and programs that we offer. But I always like to say that all residents benefit by the Agricultural Reserve because it helps to have a large area that is dedicated to agriculture, the tradition of the county in terms of where we came from, the foundation of agriculture being the #1 business in the state of Maryland, and also the amenities associated with the open space and the ability to buy fresh local products right here produced in the county. So these are some of the benefits. Also, having an agricultural reserve representing 1/3 of the county helps to keep the property taxes lower because agricultural land more than pays for itself in terms of the demand they have for public services. You don't have the same demand in terms of education for schools, roads, water, sewer. All those things are not needed in the same extent like we have down county. So the Ag Reserve is an area that pays for itself in terms of the property taxes that they pay versus the services that they need.
There are really farmers out there working hard to bring you this produce and to try to come out and help them out. Definitely shop locally and support your local farms. That keeps the Ag Reserve going, it keeps local farmers in your area, and it gives that great experience for your family and friends.
We have tremendous networks of volunteer groups here at the Ag History Farm Park that work in harmony with Extension through the University of Maryland, our land grant college for the state. And so, for instance, the program Close Encounters with Agriculture, we have about 40 to 50 volunteers that are here every day that the children are here. We wouldn't be able to run half the programs that we have here without the network of volunteers. We also have the Masters Gardeners program. So in total, I think we have over 300 volunteers throughout the year that come and help us with a lot of the programs and services that are offered here.
The Ag Reserve is certainly an advantage for Montgomery County, for the farmers, for the residents, for everyone. There's green space, so that's just more pleasing and beautiful to your eyes. And it's pleasing in that there might be rows of corn or blueberries in production, and that's still a gorgeous thing. We need some open space for your own sanity.
I think people don't understand that farmers in Montgomery County are working very hard to protect the resources that we have. And our resources are our land. So even on a horse farm, I'm still responsible. I do rotational grazing, I do mowing, I take soil samples before I do any chemicals. I protect the water. I've fenced my horses out of streams. I try to take care of things to make sure that I give the land back to my children in a better state than what I got it. And we do that through best management practices and learning what science is telling us that's the best thing that we can do.
I think it's important for all residents to understand that while Montgomery County has a population approaching 1 million people, at the same time we have a very significant agricultural industry. We've got over 561 farmers. We have an economic contribution of $243 million to the county's economy, a land mass that encompasses 1/3 of the county, or 93,000 acres. And so the decision that was made 30 years ago to create the Ag Reserve is a real testament to those folks and the leaders that wanted agriculture and the tradition and way of life of farming to be part of the county today and in the future.
Having this land set aside for the Agricultural Reserve is absolutely important for the mission of Montgomery County, and it's twofold. One is it serves the greater good of making sure that we have environmental sustainability, and it's so important to make sure that we have green areas that we continue to protect here in Montgomery County. The other part of it is that we also see the Agricultural Reserve as an economic engine for the county that's been untapped. You know, the farming resources that we have out there have just begun to really get to the crux of where we can go and the future of farming. And so I'm looking forward to the new and innovative things that a lot of the local farmers are looking to do, and for those young and up-and-coming farmers who look to expand into the Ag Reserve, as well as making sure our children know about the opportunities that are out there for farming.
From the fertile farms of the Agricultural Reserve to our historic neighborhoods and brand new suburbs. From the mixed-use centers of city and town to our halls of government, up county and down. County Cable Montgomery covers it all.
It's a bush. It's a tree. It's green. It's red. It creeps. It climbs. It's poison ivy. Poison ivy is a perennial invasive plant. Perennial meaning it grows year-round, and invasive because it grows quickly and can overtake the ground, tree, or bush where it lives. Touching poison ivy can produce a red, itchy rash, which will eventually blister. Inhaling its smoke from a campfire can cause serious lung damage.
Identification is the tricky part, so let's take a look.
Poison ivy grows on a vine in leaves of 3, hence the old adage, leaves of 3, let them be. Sometimes the leaves are shiny, other times dull. It can also present itself in various ways, which is why we don't always recognize it. It can creep up a tree and become the tree. Notice the hairy vine. This is how you might find it on the ground. This batch looks like a bush. Poison ivy is not just a product of spring and summer either. Here's what it looks like in the fall and winter. Poison oak can also be found in our area, although less abundantly. It too grows on a vine or in clusters. However, its leaves are lobed instead of uniform.
Some people are highly allergic to poison ivy and poison oak, while others come in contact with no reaction.
So what causes the itch? It's the oil found within the sap of the plant, urushiol, and touching it causes a skin reaction in humans. The resulting rash is red, very itchy, and swells. Eventually, it'll blister over. There's no evidence that the rash itself is contagious. However, urushiol that gets on clothing or family pets can stay active for days and thus be easily transferred.
If you do get the rash, I'm sorry to say there are no tried and true treatments. Some people find prescription medicines and cortisone creams help. Others use over-the-counter products to take away the itch. Then there are the natural remedies, the homeopathic ones, and grandma's advice. Mine recommended oatmeal baths.
Regardless, the rash lasts about 3 weeks. A full body outbreak can be very serious, and if it gets into your lungs or eyes, a trip to the hospital may be in store. So obviously, the best remedy for poison ivy is to avoid contact. In the woods, wear pants, long sleeves, and hats. While working in the garden, wear gloves. If you come in contact with poison ivy, immediately wash the infected area. Do this within an hour of exposure and your chances of averting an outbreak are very good. Wash all the clothing, gear, and gardening tools that come in contact as well. Removing poison ivy from the garden can be difficult. If you cut it back, it'll simply grow again. Never weed whack it, as that will send the poison everywhere. The root vines contain large amounts of urushiol, so digging them up is best left to a professional. Poor poison ivy, is there anything good about it? Well, yes. The poison keeps humans away, so the animals that live within the ivy are protected. The berries that grow on the vines are a food source for the animals, and poison ivy provides ground cover, thereby preventing erosion, especially in sensitive wetland areas.
But its poison is still dangerous. Again, identification and avoidance are the best prevention.